Imagine this. You've just had a conversation with her, and as she walks away, something strange happens. Your name keeps popping up in her mind, over and over. At first, she brushes it off, thinking it's just a fleeting thought, but then it lingers. Like your presence is still with her, even though you're no longer around. She can't explain why, but for some reason, she can't shake the thought of you. You didn't chase her. You didn't beg for attention. It simply happened, and it felt effortless. That's the magic of how the mind works. Today, I'm going to show you how to trigger this on purpose, so she can't stop thinking about you, whether you're around or not. Today, you're about to discover some incredibly simple yet powerful tricks that will have her thinking about you all day long. These aren't over-the-top moves you've seen in the movies or read about in fairy tales. No, these are subtle actions. Small, smart things you can start doing today that will make her crave your presence, keep you on her mind, and have her replaying your moments together over and over. It's not about trying to impress her or pulling off grand gestures. It's about being intentional with your actions and words, creating a magnetic energy that stays with her long after you've parted ways. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to leave a lasting impression without looking desperate, overbearing, or pushy. You'll become the kind of person she can't help but think about, naturally and effortlessly, every single day. Words are far more powerful than you might think. They have the ability to shape thoughts, influence emotions, and leave lasting impressions. It's not about speaking endlessly or filling the silence with random chatter. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about knowing how to say the right things at the right time, with the right tone and intention. The key isn't in the volume of your words, but in their quality. A few carefully chosen phrases can have a far greater impact than a long-winded speech. When you speak with purpose, when you choose your words thoughtfully, you create moments that resonate. Your words will stick with her long after the conversation ends. When you speak, make each word count. It's not about how much you say or how often you talk, but about how you choose to say it. A few simple words, carefully chosen, have the power to make her picture something vivid in her mind, evoke deep emotions, or even remind her of a special moment you shared. The magic doesn't lie in the quantity of words, but in the intention behind them. When you speak with genuine confidence and purpose, it catches her attention in a way that makes her truly listen. Not just hear, but really pay attention to the meaning behind your words. She'll find herself hanging on every sentence, reflecting on the weight of what you've said and thinking about it long after you've finished speaking. The secret is in how you use your words. It's not about just saying anything, it's about speaking in a way that makes her want to keep thinking about you, long after the conversation has ended. When you choose your words with care and purpose, you create a lasting impact. It's like planting a seed in her mind that keeps growing, even when you're not around. The more meaningful and intentional your words are, the more they linger in her thoughts, replaying over and over, making her reflect on what you said. The key is to make each conversation feel significant, so she doesn't just remember the words, but the feelings behind them. When you speak with real purpose, your words won't fade away. They'll stay with her, subtly influencing her thoughts and drawing her back to you. Sometimes your actions can speak louder than any words you say. It's not just about what you say, but how you act, what you do, and the way you carry yourself. Every small movement, every choice, and every gesture sends a message that can leave a lasting impression. The way you respond to situations, treat others, and handle challenges speaks volumes about who you are. These things stay with her long after you're not around because actions are often remembered more deeply than words. When you show confidence in your actions, calm in tough situations, and kindness in the smallest gestures, you create a mental image of yourself that she won't easily forget. It's not about doing big, flashy things to grab attention. In fact, it's often the smaller, more confident actions that leave the deepest impact. When you walk into a room, the way you carry yourself says a lot. Your posture, your presence, how you navigate through the space. When tough situations arise, how you stay calm and composed speaks volumes about your strength and emotional control. It's not about showing off or putting on a performance. It's about staying true to who you are. The way you treat people, whether it's with kindness, respect, or simple consideration, is something she'll notice. You don't need to force it or try too hard to be seen. When you simply live authentically, your actions naturally speak for you. People are drawn to quiet confidence, not arrogance. So just by being yourself and handling things with grace, your presence becomes unforgettable. The more you demonstrate confidence and calmness in your actions, the more she'll start to remember those moments with clarity. It's not just what you do in the heat of the moment, but how you handle situations with ease and self-assurance. When you stay calm under pressure or walk into a room with purpose, it becomes a mental image that stays with her. She'll begin to reflect on those moments, replaying them in her mind, thinking about how you made her feel. Over time, she won't just remember the big moments, but the subtle everyday actions that spoke volumes. How you made decisions, how you navigated challenges, how you treated others. It all matters. You don't have to be physically present to stay on her mind. In fact, you can trigger her mind to think about you even when you're not around by creating subtle mental connections that she can't easily shake off. It's about sparking memories or feelings that resurface naturally, even when you're not in front of her. Whether it's something you said, a gesture you made, or the way you handled a situation, these small moments can linger in her thoughts. Over time, her brain will start to associate certain things with you. Whether it's a specific phrase, a way you smile, or the energy you bring to any room. Every time these triggers come up, she'll find herself thinking about you, wondering about you, and subconsciously replaying the time you spent together. Even when you're not there, your presence can still be felt because you've created these subtle, lingering reminders that keep you on her mind day after day. This works by creating patterns her mind can latch onto. When you repeat certain actions or behaviors consistently, they start to form mental triggers that stay with her. It could be the way you speak to her, the tone you use, or even how you make her feel when you're around. Over time, these patterns, whether it's how you respond in certain situations, the little things you do for her, or how you handle yourself in a conversation, become ingrained in her mind. The key is consistency. When these actions happen regularly, they begin to stick in her memory, so every time she encounters a similar situation or thought, your presence or words come to mind. The more you repeat these small, meaningful actions, the more they create a mental loop in her mind that triggers thoughts of you later. People are naturally drawn to things that stand out, that are different from the usual. We gravitate toward what feels unique or intriguing, and one of the best ways to do that is by showing both strong and calm sides of yourself. When you reveal these contrasting qualities, you make yourself far more interesting than someone who is just one-dimensional. Imagine being confident, knowing what you want, and standing strong in your decisions, but also showing a calm, composed side when things get tough. It's this balance that captures attention and keeps it. The power of being both strong and calm lies in the contrast. It creates a sense of mystery and depth that makes others want to learn more about you. Yet when you mix these qualities, you give her something to think about, something that feels complex and multifaceted. It makes you not only stand out in the moment, but also stick in her mind long after the interaction ends. Imagine being confident, owning your space, and standing firm in your beliefs, but also showing just the right amount of humility, acknowledging when you're wrong or listening intently to others. Or picture yourself being incredibly passionate, driven, and excited about your goals, but also knowing when to dial it back and remain calm and collected in stressful situations. It's this mix of contrasting qualities that makes you truly stand out. When you balance strength with humility or passion with composure, you create a sense of intrigue. She'll notice how you can be both strong and thoughtful, determined yet considerate. This balance of qualities keeps her guessing, keeps her curious about what you'll do next. When you show different sides of yourself, she'll begin to reflect on those moments and start piecing together the different layers of your personality. She'll notice that you're not just one thing. You're a mix of traits, some expected and others surprising. This kind of complexity makes her start to wonder, what else is there to you? What other sides of your personality haven't you revealed yet? It creates a sense of curiosity in her mind, and as she reflects on these moments, she'll find herself wanting to get to know you more deeply. The more she sees these layers, the more she'll want to understand the full picture of who you are, and the more she thinks about you. This curiosity, combined with the mystery you create, will keep her coming back for more, always intrigued by the next side of you she has yet to discover. The best way to make her remember you is by leaving lasting impressions, moments that resonate with her long after you're no longer around. It's not always the big, dramatic gestures that stick with people. In fact, it's often the small, thoughtful actions that leave the deepest marks. A kind word at just the right moment, a quiet gesture of care, or a simple but meaningful smile can have a much greater impact than anything grand or extravagant. These little moments might seem insignificant at first, but they linger in her mind, replaying over and over. It's the way you made her feel, how you showed respect, how you took the time to listen, how you made her feel valued and seen. Even when you're not around, she'll remember those small but meaningful interactions. These impressions don't require you to be flashy or attention-seeking. They just need to be authentic and genuine. Over time, these moments build up, creating a lasting presence in her thoughts that stays with her, long after you've said goodbye. Now that you know these simple tricks, remember, it's not about trying to control her thoughts. It's about being intentional with your words, actions, and how you make her feel. Over time, these small strategies will make you unforgettable without you ever having to try too hard. Use these tricks wisely, and you'll naturally stay on her mind. Want more secrets like this? Make sure to subscribe, and I'll show you even more ways to leave a lasting impression.